said, and I think that's the problem. When you start talking statistics, then you start bubbling.
Well, because we're always gonna talk in general about the majority. Like, this is a show in front of the YouTube of the world. You know, like, we're never gonna sit there and try to pinpoint one thing on one person, because who gives a shit about that? That's actually something that I get in a lot of trouble for on the internet, is because I'm sitting here trying to tell people to have relationships when there's a very small chance of you being successful at it. There's a very small chance of being successful, and a lot of people like to think, oh, well, everybody else is sleeping around, everybody else is using online dating. If everybody else is doing it, we should all be doing it, right? And I'm still going to shoot for the small percentage and say, no, go only cold approach, go only do personal dating, only do these things, even though there's a smaller percentage chance of it being, of it working, So I'd like to talk in general, but at the same time, I do a lot of things that are super low percentage chance of it actually happening.
Was your girlfriend a traditional woman?
Yeah, she's extremely traditional.
Yeah, you definitely weren't here whenever she was making that cardigan sweater for his daughter.
Yeah,
in the green room for the past couple weeks.
It's cute. It's pink.
Oh, she's working on it right now?
Oh, she's working on a different one.
Okay, but what does that mean? Because I crochet.
Yeah, and that's
she's complimentary to his life.
Well, like, that's a good thing. Like, you should always keep that up, and that's something that you should lead with, because it is complimentary. It is something. It is showing that you're good at something that's going to provide value to that man in the future. I definitely think that is a traditional thing. But once again, if you've slept with 10, 20 dudes, you're not very traditional in that aspect. Like, you can have certain aspects where you're very traditional, where you're like, I'm super complimentary, or I'm going to do these things really well for him, like cooking and cleaning or whatever. But if you're a hoe, or if you're somebody that, like, can't pair bond to the guy anymore because you slept with so many Chads and Tyrones or something like that, or like you get with him and the sex is horrible, or like you're kind of just putting up with everything and you're just with him even though y'all never have sex or something like that, that's never going to work. Like, there's a lot of you know how many marriages are dead bedrooms right now? I forgot the percent. I was just reading about it earlier, but it was a high number. It was like 30 or 40% of marriages have dead bedroom right now. That's an insane number. And you know why that happens? It's two things. From the video I watched earlier, it's because after a woman has the second child, she's less likely to usually want to have sex. But it's also because if you've slept around at all in your past, you're not going to want to have that same sexual desire with your man. If two people are virgins, they get together, a man and a woman, they're going to love having sex with each other because they've never experienced anything else. They're going to like, sex is always a special thing between them. But it's not a special thing whenever you sit there and you give it to everybody else, and you're not building the same bond that you used to build the first and second time you were having sex. And that's really, it's really sad, because, like, I know y'all want love. Like, everybody wants love. I truly believe everybody wants a relationship and wants love. But whenever you sit there and you devalue yourself and you get yourself to the point where you can't even love the same that you did on the first, I know that you know deep in your heart, the guy that you loved the very first time compared to the guy the 10th or whatever time is completely different. It's completely different. And that you ruined it for your future husband when you do something like that. That's just what I think. Sorry, going in on you.
Were you saying loved or make love with? What were you saying? Like the first man that you love?
Yeah. Like the very first man that you love, you'll never have that same feeling again after, like, he breaks your heart. Like, it's never gonna be like that again. Or maybe I'm wrong. Do y'all think that you've had the same love again after the first time?
I feel like it's a good thing that it's different, because I was a different woman back then.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want it to be the same anyway.
I agree.
Yeah.
Once again, though, remember, experience is not a good thing for a woman. Y'all got a guy with scars is sexy. A woman with scars is not sexy. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
Why is experience not a good thing?
I'll explain to you why. Because say, like, you've gone on a bunch of vacations. Say, like, because that's a normal thing today. Women love to go on trips and shit. Y'all love to go places. If you've gone to all these places, and say, like, you get with a guy who grinded for his first 10 years. He went to college. He got a really good job. He's making $150K a year. He's 30 years old. Okay. That whole time he's been grinding hard as fuck, saving money. He wasn't going on vacations because he didn't have the ability, he didn't have the privilege to do something like that. Since y'all are young women, y'all can get flown out from 20 to 30 by multiple different types of guys. Miami, whatever. There's so many guys that will fly y'all. There's so much easier for y'all to have those experiences. If you were a 30-year-old guy and one of these girls that's 24, 25, say, and she's already gone to Cancun, she's gone and experienced all this stuff, and you go to, like, plan a trip with her, and she's like, yeah, let's go here. I've been here before. I've already experienced. Yeah, let's go here. That doesn't make him feel good, because what makes us feel good as a man is that we want to have those first time experiences with you. We want to build that bond with you and that first time to be with you. Why would we want to go to Cancun and you'd be like, yeah, I went over here, and the whole time we're going to be thinking,
like, what is
man,
she
what the?
there?
Yeah.
Who flew you out? Who flew you out? And did he smash when he flew you out?
Yeah.
That's the first thing we're thinking.
That's all we're thinking about. Like, experience is a killer for women, whether it's sexual experience, whether it's vacation experience, any experience is bad. Yeah. I mean, and that's what they're gonna do. And like, and But that, like I said, if y'all want to settle for the betas and the simps, go for it. Like, there's millions of them. There's tons of those guys out there that will take y'all, and y'all can go on girl trips every 6 months. He'll never care at all. He'll pay for it. He'll pay for you and your girls to go. There's tons of those guys. If y'all like those guys and y'all want to do that, go for it. But I just don't think you're gonna be happy with them. That's just my opinion.
I just feel like, again, I'm 30.
Mhm.
You know, I've with the military alone, I've traveled.
Yeah.
So does that?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Does that count against me? And I know we're speaking generally,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I can't speak in a generalized tone.
Yeah.
But I've been places.
Yeah.
Not because somebody flew me out.
Yeah,
And
I think you have a higher leverage because you could say that. Like, you could be like, well, yeah, I went here, but it was because I was working, you know?
I also have family. My family likes to travel. My parents like to travel. My cousins like to travel. Like,
Fill in the blanks.
I'm around family who has enough money to say, hey, we want to go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. And it has nothing to do with another man.
But then now I want to go to Vegas with my man. Like, man,
Yeah, well,
I just went here
like
with my
I said,
family.
there's tons of guys out here that probably wouldn't care. Like I said, there's tons of them. But I would call them betas or simps. But I'm just telling you, the high value men, the guys that want to have a younger woman so they have good, healthy babies and shit like that. Those are the only guys. And like I said, if you're not shooting for those guys, who cares? You know, like, it doesn't even matter. Yeah.
So if you want to take your girlfriend on a vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you went on that vacation with somebody you just went to like another area.
Mm-hmm.
Does that not count as the same thing? Why are men allowed experiences and women are not?
I'll explain to you
have to
why.
earn it.
Because first of all, it's earned. First of all, it is earned. Yeah, because if you just get flown out just because you're a pretty girl and you're 20 years old, it's completely different. So the guys
on
earned.
the aspect of someone like me.
Yeah.
So I just want to, just because if we're going to have the conversation of you trying to change my mind,
Mm-hmm.
try to focus on someone like myself.
I'll explain to you why. So the thing is, if I took my girl out on a vacation, I've already been there.
Mm-hmm.
I look more attractive. You got to understand, men and women are complete opposites in so many things. If I have gone say I've gone to Cozumel and I take her on a really good 4-wheeler ride, or I take her on this really cool excursion that's going to, I can't really describe Cozumel, but just a really good trip, or like, say you go to the Maya temples or you do something really fun. And the only reason why that's easy is because I've already gone and done it. I'm going to look more attractive to her because I'm a leader and a man that I know exactly how to handle the situation. It looks even better for you. Y'all got to understand, experience makes a man look way more valuable because experience is what makes a man. Yeah, like, once again, we are the opposites. You got to stop seeing us as the exact same.
How does experience not make a woman?
Because, like I said, sexual experience, those vacation experience, like, a guy wants a woman with youth because we want to experience stuff with you that you've never experienced before. Whether that's sex, whether that's vacations, whether that's children, we want to be the first to experience things with you.
You're worried about what everybody else has done with me. That's the problem. Like, why are you even thinking about that?
Because men have been insecure about this for 300,000 years. We're Homo sapiens, so we're always since.
You better get over it and book this flight.
You got to understand, it's in y'all's biology for y'all to want to be hypergamous, which is shoot for the best guy. Y'all want a provider, okay? It's in a man's nature to want youth and beauty because that's how we know that it's our child. You got to understand, there was no way for us to test whose kid was ours. So if it was a young, beautiful girl that was a virgin, we knew this was our kid. We didn't have to worry about whose kid it was. Okay, so that's why you got to understand, all these things go back thousands of years, and it's never going to go away. This is biology. If you're mad about it, get mad at Charles Darwin. You know, like,
I want to make something clear.
Yeah.
I will say, if no one has said it yet out of us three, I will be the first to say it. Men and women are not equal.
Yeah,
I will say that. We are not equal.
Yeah.
However, being able to tell somebody that, hey, your experiences create value for you just as much as my experiences create value for me, does not necessarily say we're the same. What I'm saying is, the same way that I can look at a man and go, you know what? You've been grinding for the last 10 years in your business. You went from the regular schmegular W-2 employee to now you're doing a 1099 because you're the CEO of that establishment now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you want to be able to look at me and know that I know how to actually wash your clothes, meaning I know that there's jeans. I know that
this
there's
is something
whites.
that women learn
colors.
at 13 years old.
But
okay, this is very basic things.
But
very basic.
then you move forward. You need to know that, God forbid something happens to you, I know how to balance the checks as well. I know how to be able to do that. I need experience in order to do that. You need to know that, hey, you know what? I've taken you to all the places I know, and now I'm stuck. okay, well, maybe I know a few places that you haven't gone yet. So, babe, let's do something different. Let's do something new.
Uh,
And it's because I have experienced it and I believe you will benefit from my experience. That doesn't mean we're the same.
Let me explain something, okay? Everything you just said, it's very true. There's tons of guys that are betas and simps and normal men that would love what you just said. They would love it. But I'm just
Are you
trying to
calling
give
my dad a simp?
No, yes, actually maybe. But it's okay because
Don't
both
call
of my
me
dads are
that.
simps. It's
My
fine.
dad's an alpha.
Hey,
Sorry.
both of my dads are simps. But no, like I'm telling you though, I'm just giving you a perspective of the guys that are up in the top. Okay, now you may not even want these guys, but I'm just trying to show you, as a guy who's 6 foot tall, as a guy who makes well into the 6 figures, as somebody that is the chooser in anything that I've ever been in. I'm the one always choosing a relationship. I'm just letting you know how those guys think. Yeah, like I said, you may not even want to be with those type of guys. You may want a normal dude. So it might not mean shit to you. But I'm just telling you, they want a guy with no experience.